Hey everyone, welcome to the second installment of the Unheard of Artist Interview Series. Today we've got my boy BroHaun here. Once again, it's your host, GAINCHANGER. BroHaun, aka Brody Curtis. Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you, Joseph. As Game Changer or Joseph mentioned, my name is Brody, aka BroHaun. I'm 29 years old. I live in San Diego, California. I've been here for about 11 years now, and I am very passionate about bass music. And we can get more into that as the interview rolls on.
Nice, nice. Glad to hear. All right, just to kind of set the stage a little bit, why don't you tell us a little bit about your sound or some of the artists that inspire or influence you the most?
Yeah, so a little bit about my sound is I've been making bass music for about 4 years, give or take. I like to make hybrid trap music or dubstep specifically. I do make house, I do make other things, but currently just making bass music. Some people that inspire me are I like Jaquee. I think Jaquee is an insane producer. I like Joof. I think Joof is sick. If anyone's heard of him, I'm sure they have. I like Rack is another heavy dubstep rhythm. He makes some heavy trap as well. Sisto's really cool. Some underground people that I am inspired by. Game Changer, of course.
Hey, thank you.
This guy named Assassin, who's just an underground person. Check him out on Instagram. And there's a couple others I can't think right now, but yeah, that's kind of where I stem some of my inspiration from.
Nice. Yeah, some solid artists. Definitely familiar with all of those. All right. You want to tell us a little bit about how your project came about, how BroHaun started?
Definitely. Okay, so thank you for asking, by the way. Um, Long story short, I got into bass music in about 2013. I discovered Bauer and like the trap type music back then.
Nice. Good year.
And I ultimately kind of became addicted to it. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I started going to shows in 2015, right? That's when, I was immersed in live shows and big stages, etc. Started making mixes in my room in probably 2016. Did that for a few years. Kind of got bored of it just because I was tired of looking online and trying to find other people's music. So then I decided that I wanted to make music of my
Yeah.
own. And when it came time to make music, I had to choose a name. So where did the name BroHaun come from? My old boss at a company called Sound Image in Escondido. He was my boss, and he used to call me BroHaun for no other reason than that's what he called me. And so when it came time to choose a project name for releasing music, I chose BroHaun for
Nice.
that reason.
That's what's up. Now, how'd you get into music production?
Yeah. So music production, like I said, I was just kind of a bedroom DJ making mixes. Got bored of it a little bit. Wanted the next challenge, which would be creating and producing music, right? So it all started. I was hanging out with my friend TJ, and he had Ableton on his computer. He showed me it. I had no clue what I was looking at, but I remember just clicking through samples and thinking to myself, these sound really
Yeah.
cool, but I don't know how to piece together a song. But that inspired me to actually want to buy Ableton. From
Nice.
there, I reached out to you.
Hey, shout out. What's good, gang?
Shout out Game Changer. Shout out Joseph. I reached out to Joseph and I said, I'm really interested in purchasing this. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Are you willing to help show me the fundamentals and get me on my feet?
And I said, heck yeah.
And so, anyways, that's how it all started. And this was 4 years ago. I was looking on my phone today of when I posted my first thing announcing BroHaun, and it was November 3rd, 2020.
Dang.
So that's
Coming
how
up on 4 year anniversary of BroHaun. Let's go.
coming up.
Heck yeah, dude! I couldn't be any more proud, brother.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's been amazing to watch you and the other homies grow, and just consistently pump out bangers. And you really have truly become one of my favorite producers and definitely one of my favorite people to collaborate with.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bring it in.
Yes, sir.
All right, well. On now, kind of following up on the question about biggest inspirations. What are some of the artists that you would love most to share the stage with eventually or collaborate with?
That's a great question. I mean, it would be mind blowing, of course, to share the stage and go back to back with a huge name like Wooly or like Subtronics.
Yeah.
At that point, you would obviously be like, "Damn, I can't believe this is happening." But yeah, I mean, I honestly can't really think right now. I'm down to share the stage with anyone
Yeah.
at this point.
All right. So when it comes to playing shows, how do you approach, or just playing shows in general? How do you approach putting together the set, getting ready, etc.?
Yeah. So let's think about this. I'm reached out to. I get a booking on the calendar. Depending how much time I have, I typically always plan my whole set. This one on 8:30, I've known about it for a couple months. I choose. I'll basically grab, let's call it 70 tunes or so.
Yeah.
I'll throw it into a folder, and then I'll just start piecing them one at a time in order of kind of how I want to play them. Once I have everything in order of how I want it to go, I'll practice my transitions.
Yeah.
If they sound like doo doo, then I'll go in Ableton and I'll make little edits and stuff like that. If there's an element I don't want in a specific place, I'll just delete it.
Yeah.
So then when it comes time to play live, there's nothing really clashing.
I love that technique because, that really is something that producers can do to up their DJ game. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I try to make edits. I think for this next show, I have like maybe 5 edits or so.
Nice.
I always try to make some unreleased tunes that I'll only probably play at that show specifically,
Yeah.
or for just live shows in general that I'm most likely not going to release. But I try to not make too many edits to where it's kind of a cop out where you're on stage and people think it's pre-recorded. But yeah, like I said, if I don't have that much time to prepare a set, I'll just freestyle it. I'll be good with that. But if I have time, then I plan out the whole thing and try to make it as clean as possible.
Nice.
For the crowd.
Awesome. Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on currently, maybe some of your favorite tracks or shows that you've done already, or some things you're excited about coming up in the near future.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so recently I've released 3 tunes in the past 3 months, basically. I released STFU with Unheard Records, and I really enjoyed that song. I released a self-release with my boy Hellblaze, aka Brian Patterson. I guess the aka should have been the other way, but we released a track together. I'm blanking. Oh, I just released one with Interlink this past like a few days ago. And then as far as upcoming shows, I have a show on August 30th opening for Gorilla T, which I'm very, very excited for. And then a few days after, I will be going back to back with my friend Large at a free show in downtown San Diego.
Nice.
So basically 2 shows in the next few weeks. So I'm super hyped for that.
Nice. Lots to look forward to. I'll definitely be there for both of them, I believe. All right. Well, on that subject, I know you mentioned STFU with Unheard Records, and of course, that's one of the things we're here to talk about today. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that track? How did it come about? What kind of sound were you going for? What are some of your favorite elements?
Definitely. So, STFU, I actually don't remember even starting that track. I was probably in my room with nothing better to do than to create a build-up into a drop and see if I can make something cool. I remember I was flipping through sample packs, and a lot of times when I'm making music, I choose like a placeholder for the pre-drop vocal.
Yep.
And this one was, shut the fuck up. Anyways, I threw that in, and then it just kind of stuck. But at the time, I was just trying to make a heavy dubstep, heavy trap banger.
Nice.
And the sample for the pre-drop just kind of fell in place.
Yeah, sometimes it really is that simple.
Yeah, exactly. But overall, I mean, as far as sounds go, I try to go for the heavy, like, chomps, I guess you could call them.
Chomp.
So the main sound of that was actually a preset of one that I found that I tweaked very slightly.
Nice.
And so that's kind of how it came about.
Nice. All right. Well, in terms of music production, what are some of your favorite elements to work on in terms, in any tune?
Favorite elements to work on? So I think for me, when I'm making a song, I always start with the drums. I love choosing a nice kick and a nice snare and a nice clap and some crispy hi-hats. And then from there, just throw in a nice sub. I basically use the same sub for every single song. But I just, and then I'll just open up Serum, do sound design. I enjoy sound design, but it's also very frustrating sometimes to get something that I actually like and sounds cool.
Yeah, I feel that.
And then aside from that, just throw in some risers and some effects, and then you got yourself a tune of some sort.
Nice. Now, if you could go back and tell yourself when you first started your journey into production and DJing, etc., one thing, what do you think it would be?
Don't overthink it.
Nice.
Everything looks very complicated on the screen, but then once you learn it, it's not super complicated, I would say.
There we have it, folks. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple.
Now, anything else you want to talk about, or anything else you're excited for in the near future?
Not necessarily. I've just been working on music. I have a few releases. I have one more with Unheard of Records coming in the next few months. Don't know which one yet, but yeah, I'm just enjoying working on bass music, having fun with it. It's been a fun ride for the last 4 years, and I just look forward to keeping it going.
Nice. Well, it's always a pleasure working with you, brother. We've got a couple tunes of our own, some collabs in the works as well, so keep your eyes and ears peeled for those. Definitely excited to show you guys what we got cooking.